Hi and welcome back to another video today. So today I'm going to be making Jamaican rum cake. So in my bowl I have a 450 grams of butter and 450 grams of dark sugar. So I'm going to cream the sugar and butter together. So I'm creaming the sugar and butter together. Make sure that you are getting all the sides. So I'm going to cream it until it's creamy. So I'm going to stop for a bit and then just scrape down the sides to make sure that all the butter and sugar are mixing well together. So you can use a wooden spoon or you can use a spatula to do that. Let's get it back down and just continue to cream together. I'm doing it on a slow speed at the beginning because you don't want too much air. This is how I do mine. So I'm going to cream it together until it becomes very smooth. So I'm going to put the speed up a little bit. So this part of the baking is always difficult because you have to mix the sugar and the butter together. So let's just turn that off and just scrape the sides again. Don't forget to scrape all these areas because you can see the butter is still lodged. So you have to make sure that it all mixed together smoothly. So I'm going to give it another mix. Let's give it another mix and I'm going to do it on a slow speed. Just to get the butter and the sugar combined. I'm going to put the speed up a little. Let's start it off. So as you can see, the sugar and the butter is all smooth. Let's get this bit off. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Now in this bowl I have 9 eggs. So I also have a bit of orange juice and lemon juice just to help to cut the rawness out, and I like to put orange juice also in my cake. So I'm gonna whisk it together. As you can see, and once whisked, I'm gonna slowly put batch at a time in the sugar and butter mix. So as you can see, give it another little mix here. Okay, and I'm gonna slowly put it in batches and put it on a low speed. So you don't want to put in it all at once. So I'll do probably about 2 batches. And then give it a mix to combine it together. Stop it from curdling. And gradually let's get another batch in. And then we're going to put the last batch in. So now we have the egg with the lemon and orange, the butter and the sugar now combined together. Everyone do their rum cake completely different. Now I'm gonna transfer this mixture into a bigger bowl ready for the dry ingredients. I'm just gonna take that off. Just give it a little wipe down. So let's take this out. And I'm gonna get rid of the blender now because I don't need it. Everything else I'm gonna do by hand. Just get rid of this blend. So now I'm gonna transfer it into this big bowl here. But first, I'm gonna add 4 tablespoons of browning. And if you like your cake dark, you can add more than 4. I like it dark, so I am going to add more than 4, but I'm gonna put 4 and then just give it a mix and then see what happens. So that's 4. But as I said, I like my cake to be dark, so I'm gonna gradually just fold it in. Not everybody like their cake to be dark, but I like my cake to be dark, so I might put another one in. Let's give it a mix. Now I've got all the dry ingredients set aside. So for the dry ingredients, I'm using 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I had 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of mixed spice. Now it's up to you what you want to put in your rum cake to spice it up. So I want my cake to be dark, so I'm gonna add another tablespoon of browning, and I think that's enough darkness. I like to use this browning here. It's called Sarson's, and I like this one because it is very dark when you're doing. I like to use that one anyway. Everybody have their preference, so I'm gonna give it a mix. Just give it a mix. So as you see, could do with a little bit more darkness. I really like my rum cake dark, so I'm not gonna measure. I'm just gonna pour a little bit more in, and that should be enough. I also like to put a bit of almond, so I'm gonna put a drop of almond in the mix. Not a lot, just a touch, because I like the smell of the almond. And then I also like to put a little bit of rose water in my mix. A little, not a lot, because it have a very rich taste, and I like to put that in. So I'm just gonna give it a mix, and then I'm gonna transfer it to this big bowl here, so I can put all the dry ingredients along with the fruits. So I'm using 4 cups of fruits, and I like my fruits blend all the way out. I've already blended my fruits out, and it's been soaking for almost a year in rum, red label wine, coconut rum, ginger wine, and Senata gin tonic wine. And I'm gonna also add some in the mix if it does need it. So I'm gonna transfer it to this big bowl here. You can see. And just use a spatula to get, so you're not wasting, just to get it up. Okay. So I'm just gonna rest this here because I'm gonna need all of these. Give it some more stirring. As you can see, it's very dark. Now I'm gonna add my fruits. Now I already blend my fruits out, and it's 4 cups, which I already blend. So I'm gonna pour my fruits in. That smells so good. I'm gonna use my spatula to scrape out what is inside. And I'm gonna use a little bit of rum. So I'm not wasting anything. So I'm using the Jamaican white rum, very expensive. Put a little bit. And I'm gonna also put a dash of red label wine, again, very expensive. Give that a little stir. Make sure you haven't got any fruits left in your blender. Just pour it out. Okay, and I'm gonna set the blender aside so I can wash that later. And give it a little wipe down because I like to wipe down as I go along. So now I'm gonna just fill the fruits into the mix. I know it's difficult for you to see, but I will show you at the end. Now this mixture can give you at least 3 cakes, and I'm using these tin. So I've got 3 of these, which is very good because you don't have to worry about washing up all the time, because to do rum cake is a lot of work and it's a lot of washing up. Okay, so now the wet ingredients, I'm gonna set that aside, and I am going to get the dry ingredients. So here is the dry ingredients. So I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, and I also have 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Now I have already mixed all the ingredients in, and also don't forget 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so I have already mixed all the dry ingredients together, as you can see. And the best thing to do is to sieve, so you don't put all your flour in at once. You just put a batch at a time, because you might not need, even though you are using the measurement that you measure, you might not need all the flour. So I am gonna mix, fold it in. So I'm gonna fold it in so that it mixed out. Now you can smell all the rum and all the liquor that is in this cake right now. It smells so delicious. Now the best part about making rum cake is when you get to the bottom, like as a child back home, like to eat what is left after everything is gone in. It's a big bowl, so you're unable to see, but as you can see how dark my cake is, and that's how I like it. Now if you want it darker, you can add more browning. It's up to you. Just give it a little bit more. So you're not really beating it, you're folding the flour in, okay? Just fold it in. Fold. Make sure you get all the corners. So I'm gonna add another batch of the dry ingredients. And you're gonna use the same technique. You're gonna just fold it in until it combines. Fold. My arms get very tired because this is a very difficult job. Rum cake takes time to make. So sometimes when people ask you to make rum cake and you tell them a price, they don't want to pay the money, but they don't understand the amount of work that goes into it. Now it's looking absolutely amazing so far. Just continue to fold. Don't leave the edges. And fold. Right, so I'm gonna put the remainder of the ingredients, the dry ingredients. And if at any time you think your mixture is not to what you want it, for example, if you think it's too thick, do not put water. Use either some of the rum, the red label wine, or the other alcohol that you have available. The water doesn't work. So I am going to now fold the last bit of the ingredients. Now I have the oven on with a water bath inside, and I have it on gas mark 4 because I am going to bake these very slow. Then once I check on them, I will add a bit of liquor at the top just to keep the moisture. So the water in the bottom is actually, it helps to steam the cake and help it not to dry out. So you have to keep maintaining your water. Make sure your water is top if it needs to be. Okay, keep mixing. Cut the edges. So you get the edges. You don't want to keep. So as you see, I'm going in. Yeah. So I'm gonna stand my spoon and see if it slowly falls to the side. So it's literally standing up. So as you can see, so I'm gonna add a little bit of white rum mixed with some other alcohol just to put in it, because I feel like it needs a little bit of liquid. So I'm adding a little bit of red label wine. I'm gonna add a little bit of rum. Rum's expensive, so I'm gonna have some ginger wine. And just to give it the Then I'm gonna do some Sanatogen tonic wine. And finally, I will do some coconut wine rum. So you don't need to use all of what you've actually put. You can save it when you need to wet the cake. So this is the amount. So I'm just gonna pour a little in there, a little bit, and that should be enough. Now I already have my containers ready. I don't need to grease them. I don't normally grease them because it's the foil container. So I don't really need to grease. Oh, I wish you could smell the smell of this cake right now. So I'm gonna stand the spoon, see, and watch it slowly fall to the side. And it is slowly falling to the side. But I'm gonna add a little bit more of the liquid and just give it another mix here. See, that's what it is. Consistency, guys. Consistency. Now I have my containers ready. So as I said, I have 3 of these containers. And I am going to pour. Let's bring it closer so you can see. I am going to pour. You want to get it to full. You know. You just use your hand. I want to see that. If you don't want to use a container, you can use, if you don't want to pour it like that, you can also use a cup to do it. You don't have to. You don't have to at all. Okay? Okay. Let's get the bits off there. One container. I'm gonna pour the mix in the other one. So that's 2 containers, and this is the 3rd container. And don't forget to leave a little bit in the bowl so you can eat. I love doing that. Let's get some more out. You don't want to fill it in too much. See? I'm gonna set this aside now and just shuffle it. So right now you can see here, as you can see, so as you can see, I am gonna now, so I'm gonna now place them in the oven at gas. So I'm gonna now place them in the oven at gas mark 4, and then once they're finished, you will see the end process and you'll tell me what you think, whether you'll follow this recipe or you'll just do your own recipe. So I've just taken the cakes out of the oven after being in the oven for a good hour and a half. And I'm gonna actually wet the top just to allow them to soak in all that alcohol. So in this bottle I have red label wine, some white rum, coconut rum, Sonata and tonic wine, and ginger wine. So I'm just gonna spray over the top while it's still hot. Keeping to lock in that moisture. I don't like my cake not being moist. So as you see at the mixture I did earlier, I had 3 cakes. And as you can see, very, very hot, guys. As you can see, I have just wet the top and it's very, very moist. And this is how dark I really like to have my cake. Now, I had some mixture left over, just a small amount, and I just put it in this little pan because I didn't want to waste anything. So I cut piece earlier, and as you can see, look how moist this cake is. Look at my finger. That's how I like my cake. It's very moist, very nice, not gummy. And as you can see, the top, look at the moisture on that. Let's look at the moisture. And that's how I like my cake. There you go. So I actually like doing the cakes in the foil as well, because I don't have to worry about washing up. And if I'm going to give it to someone, I can easily give them in the foil without actually losing my cake tin. Now once they're cool, I'm going to be covering them with this top. You can actually get these on Amazon. You can get like 50 and they're not that expensive, and they come with the foil container. So once they're cool, I'm going to be actually covering them with these. One of them I'm going to actually give to someone. One I'm going to keep at home, and the next one I'm going to actually cut up and give to staff members in my job. Now guys, I've made rum cake before and they always come out great, but I can say this is my best one ever, and I am really, really, really proud of myself. So please, once you watch this video, click the like button, tell your family and friends so they can subscribe to my channel, and you will be seeing lots more baking, different style of cooking. As I said, my YouTube channel is not just gonna based around one activity. It's gonna be a mixture. So it's gonna be from exercise, educational, for example, you know, learning about autism, learning how to do first aid, and so on. But part of one of the things that I love doing, I love to bake. I also do brownies and so forth, which I do have 2 or 3 videos up of that. But I absolutely love when I do my rum cake and they come out looking amazing. So please leave a comment down below, click the like button, and come around again. I wish you guys could come and have a taste of this cake, but you never know. So I'll see you again soon for another YouTube video. Thanks guys, bye.